All right, I'm documenting this ammo case radio in reverse because I'm taking it apart. I built two of them. This was the first one, and where I made my mistake was I put the tuning dial and electronic circuitry across from the antenna. So the antenna wire actually ran across inside the radio, and I wasn't happy with that. It caused just a little tiny bit of extra noise. Now, this is a Harbor Freight ammo case. Now, I don't know if you can see on the camera. Let me tilt it up a little bit. Uh, the holes for the speaker were drilled in the ammo case itself, and that took quite a long time marking it, laying it out, and drilling all those holes. One of the nice things about the ammo case is it's sealed closed with a gasket. You lift this lever on this side, top comes up, okay? The power supply is on the lid, the battery pack, okay? And it uses a transistor plug to it, so I can remove the top if I have to. All right, that was another feature. The antenna sits on the side of the radio with these two homemade brackets. This is an actual antenna from a Craft remote control unit. Okay, I repurposed it. It's like a 6-foot antenna. I think it was Craft. It's Craft. Okay, so looking inside this now, let's get the camera in the right place here. Over here, this is the RF input. Like I said, the antenna, the wire comes all the way across. There's an amplifier on here. You can see there's two ferrite coils, and they're tuned with this 3-section capacitor. Now, I love 3-section tuned radios. They're very good. Okay, if you ever have a chance to get a really good radio that has a 3-section tuned capacitor, get it. Okay, now on this is a Jackson 10-to-1 ratio tuner or veneer, and a lot of guys, it's not really a veneer, but that's what they call it. In other words, you have to turn this knob around 10 times to get this to go 5 times around to go 180 degrees. But if you went at 360, it would take 10 turns, right? Yeah, something like that. In other words, all right, so that would be my fine tuning. And this is a BFO switch, turn the BFO on and off. This was an RF gain. The antenna come into this and then up into the RF amplifier. This was the BFO. It used the tuning capacitor. But let me show you the sections in here once again. RF tuning section module, 3-gang capacitor. All right, down in here, this board down there, that's the BFO. This model has a BFO. The second one I built has a product detector, an NE602 chip. Okay, and then this module here, this is a Franklin oscillator. All right, and then this section's my IF section on a board, and this is Pendle, whatever his name was. There's several books on the internet. They show you how to build a radio, and he showed how to build a shortwave radio. So this is mostly my design, and it's his IF strip. And then this other guy had a website. I contacted him, and he was building at the same time I was, and he figured out how to cut the gain back. Originally, the book used germanium transistors, and we use silicon, so they have more gain. And RIF cans. I told the guy I used, in this case here, I wound this one. This is a 1 Henry, mil Henry? Yeah, 1 millihenry choke on the Franklin oscillator. And the Franklin oscillator is a very wide range, and it can go from CHU Canada, which would be 3.335 megahertz, something like that, all the way up to past 9 megahertz with just this dial here. Okay, and this middle one is the oscillator, and then one of them's the mixer, and one of these is the RF amp. Okay, that's what's really cool about a triple tune. And over here is LM386 chip, and this circuit is the one that Radio Shack used for their remote external amplifier box. They had a box that ran on a 9-volt battery. That's what this circuit is. Okay, I built several of these, and I end up using now the speaker I bought off eBay, but this radio worked really good. But I built a second one, and it bothered me that I had to put the antenna on this side, okay, because the lid comes up. This side has a clamp. You can't mount the antenna here, so I put the antenna here, but I had already drilled the holes for the speaker. So on the second one, I put the speaker on this side, and I put this Jackson tuning unit over here. Now, as I scrap this out, I have a second model that's better than this, so I will scrap this out, and the parts are going to be used to test the new radio that I'm building. It's basically going to be the same range, but it'll be a smaller portable that has a digital readout that I can shut off the digital readout to use less battery power. Okay, I have a certain frequency range that I listen to at night, and I really enjoy it. And I thought this was going to do it. This piece of garbage, this steaming pile of shit. Okay, now I do find in the Amazon reviews of the Malahite, is it called? Other people saying, I bought the radio thinking it would be a radio I'd walk around at night. The guy had the exact same story as me, and it doesn't pick up anything with that antenna. Okay, nothing. You put this antenna up on this just a little bit, and it gets all kinds of stuff. Okay, and as you're tuning with like an analog radio, let's call it analog. Let's not call it digital. As you're tuning, every little sound you hear is a station, where this thing picks itself up. R71As pick themselves up. Most digital radios, as you're turning the dial, you hear tip, 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 tip. Now, I go, oh, there's a mod. You could turn that off so you won't hear that. Well, you won't hear the station when you go by it either, will you? Oh, well, yeah. I own some really good radios, and they have specific things that aggravate me. First of all, maybe they're really bad on batteries, or they're bigger than they should be. They have bands on the radio that I don't really use. So I'm slowly building a radio that's just for me, okay, for the frequencies 80 meter and 40 meter. I have radios, I have a whole room full of radios, but none of them are 100% what I want. And what I always tell you, the DX390, the Radio Shack one, I think it's 390, that one's really good, okay? It's pretty good on batteries, but it's also got the as you're tuning the tuning dial, okay? And you can shut that off, but then you can't hear the station when you're tuning the station in. There's things that people don't notice because they don't understand the radio circuits. They don't understand what they're hearing, okay? And the other thing too is with shortwave and AM broadcasts, it's basically dead, okay? Yeah, there's still stations on AM radio, but they're all talk. They're other sports. I do DX once in a while. I was finding out a station on 600 kilohertz that I pick up here. I'm in the fringe area. It's down in Delaware. It's a low power station. And I use that to compare other radios. And the DX 390 picks it up. The DX 398, I think it is, has trouble getting it. I also have a DX 394, that little piece of junk. Oh, that's another steeping pile of shit. But I just wanted to show you the type of things you can build. If you think about it, I needed a metal case that was cheap, and an ammo can or an ammo case at Harbor Freight's pretty reasonable. It can be hard in some places to drill a hole. It's probably stamped out on a machine, and some pieces of the metal in places are harder to drill than other places. The temper of the steel in different areas is different as you're going along. So when I drilled this speaker out, okay, there's a piece of dust in there, but for the most part, I didn't screw up. I think, wait, let's get the camera on this better. Okay. See, when I aim the camera at stuff, it's not looking at where I'm aiming it. But anyway, yeah, it took a while to do this. And that's how I wanted it done. I didn't want to cut a big hole and put a grill cloth behind it. This is what I wanted. And then the controls go along the bottom, like your old-fashioned type radios. And this was RF gain, BFO, turn the BFO on and off. And then this was a 10 to 1. Sheesh, the camera drives me nuts. But this is called I think it was called the Jackson, with a veneer mechanism. And then you can see, I figured out that you could actually make a round dial, and there's 2 holes in the Jackson unit, and you can mount your own dial on there. And then of course this is a piece of plastic, and it's on spacers that's drilled in and tapped into the case. And you can really make stuff if you take your time and design stuff. But I've changed from using these 3-section capacitors to here's one thing now. It's gotten even smaller. Okay, this is just the front end. This is 3 tuned toroid coils that tune with voltage between CHU Canada at 3.335 megahertz all the way up to 9.5 megahertz. And all I really need is 3 80 meters to 40 meters. But I like to hit some of the shortwave bands at night, and that's the frequencies at night that are usually the most active, and you can pick up the best. And this is the new model, and this was the old model. Okay, and going way back, that was one of the early models. Only had 2 tune sections. Okay, with an amplifier. But you know, there's many ways you can build a receiver. But first of all, you want to say to yourself, what do I want to pick up? And there are people, I want to pick up everything. Well, buy one of these. You deserve what you get, okay? And I got one on the bench that's apart, sitting back there. See it back there? It's I have a soldering station now, a hot air, I have a microscope, all that, and I finally got the chip to fix the radio that I got with the front ends blown. And I know how bad the radio is going to be because I bought a second one. So I got two piles of steaming hot shit. Okay, I won't say I have 100 radios, shortwave radios, but just say 50, easily 50. And the command radio here. Look at this camera, drives me nuts. This command radio, whatever frequency range you're using, blows the doors off of this thing with just a 1-foot antenna hanging off of it. This is a piece of crap. And it really annoys me that the guys on the internet are hooking it up to a big outside antenna, and only 1 or 2 of them figured out it sucks even then. Okay? And they're always doing 40 meters. 80 meters just loaded up with noise from the display. And don't give me, oh, yeah, the Russian one's better. It's the same circuit. It's the same crap. One guy was showing, he went and bought one of these Malahites, and then he bought the Russian one. He got one, and then I noticed he was trying to tune stuff in, and it wouldn't get WWV or CHU Canada. Okay, it wouldn't do it. It couldn't do it on a 3-foot antenna. All right, it's a piece of shit. There's no sensitivity. There's no front end in that radio. There's some switching chips and an RF amplifier, but there's no tune circuits until you get to just before the detector. They give you a single ferrite bead bandpass filter. Okay, that's nonsense. Okay, if you own radios and you know each section of the radio that should be there, what they actually built here was a modern day version of the Helicrafters S120, piece of steaming shit. I've had 2 of them people have given me. I fixed them, and I end up throwing them in the garbage. They're such crap. They're an AA5, an All-American 5 radio with some extra coils for other bands. And they have no sensitivity, and they have no selectivity, okay? And when you read the reviews on different radios, I think that's hamradio.com, whatever it is, they'll tell you some of those old radios, some of them are really good and desirable. And there's the Helicrafters S120. I think I got the number right. It's considered laughable, the radio. It's great if someone gives you one and you don't have anything else, but you'll never enjoy shortwave listening with that radio, okay? And now shortwave listening is basically dying off. Like I said, my favorite bands are 80 and 40 meters at night. And within them, you got Havana, Cuba. You got the guy out of Florida, the shortwave station out of Florida. You got the Screaming Preacher station. Let me think what else is down in. I think there's a Canadian station down in there too. But there's certain things I like to tune around on just before I go to bed. And I shut it off and then I go to bed. But buying this thing, this did not work out. And that's what this was going to be. This was going to be a radio I was going to lay in bed with. And then tune around and then turn it off, put it on my nightstand and go to sleep. Okay? It's a piece of crap. As soon as your hand goes near the display to oh, wait, let me turn it on here. See if the battery's still up. Oh look, the battery has self-discharged itself just sitting there since the other day. But look at this. Okay? But down around 40 meters within outside the antenna, it works pretty good. Okay? All sizzle, no steak. Okay? All sizzle, no steak. There's a lot of things in life that are like this. It'd be like having a Cadillac with all the amenities on it, and when you open the hood, you see a Briggs & Stratton engine in there. But actually, you know what? A Briggs & Stratton engine is a great engine. This is not a great radio. This is not even, and every time I see someone review one of these, and he doesn't know what he's doing, he only makes the problem worse. I think that's it. All right, that's it.